All right. Welcome to our deep dive into the 5 a.m. Club.
Yeah.
You've sent over a bunch of notes and excerpts, and it seems like you're asking, what's this book really about? What are the key takeaways? And I got to say, this isn't your typical self-help book. It's got this kind of mythical storyline, interesting characters, exotic locations.
Yeah, it is fascinating how the author, Robin Sharma, uses this story to teach about productivity and personal mastery. It starts with this, well, he's called the Spellbinder, this productivity guru who's giving this seminar, and suddenly this guy who looks homeless just interrupts the whole thing.
Oh.
Turns out this mysterious guy is actually a billionaire mentor. His name is Stone Riley, and he takes two of the attendees, a struggling entrepreneur and this talented but troubled artist, on this incredible journey.
Okay, so we've got a mysterious billionaire, a struggling entrepreneur, and a troubled artist. Where did they go, and what are some of the lessons they learn?
Well, they go to some pretty amazing places. A luxury island retreat in Mauritius, the streets of Rome, even the Taj Mahal in Agra, India. But the real journey is internal. It's about them pushing past their limitations, facing their fears, and discovering their true potential.
Sounds intense. So for our listener, what are some of the big takeaways from this book?
Well, one recurring theme is this idea of losing your weak self to uncover your best self. It's about pushing past comfort zones, embracing challenges, and constantly striving to grow. And the book really emphasizes self-awareness, introspection and reflection to achieve that personal mastery.
Yeah, and from what I'm seeing here, it also talks about guarding your cognitive assets, especially in a world full of distractions. I mean, with all the technology these days, it's so easy to get bombarded with information all the time.
Exactly. The book really stresses the importance of protecting your mental energy and focus, arguing that constant distractions can just drain your cognitive resources and stop you from doing your best work and living a truly fulfilling life.
This Stone Riley character is really interesting to me. He starts off disguised as homeless, and then, bam, he's a billionaire. What's his story?
He's like the poster child for the 5 a.m. Club. He's achieved incredible success, but he's not all about material wealth. He values authenticity, simplicity, experiences, not possessions. And he's really critical of that obsession with money for money's sake that you see a lot these days.
Yeah, I mean, it is refreshing to hear about a billionaire who prioritizes those things. Good reminder that true wealth goes beyond just money.
Totally. And his struggles with burnout, that really makes his story resonate. He was caught up in the hustle culture until he met the Spellbinder and learned the principles of the 5 a.m. Club. That helped him regain control of his life and ultimately achieve both success and fulfillment.
So Riley takes our entrepreneur and artist off to his private island in Mauritius. What happens there? I'm picturing palm trees, crystal clear water, deep conversations about life.
You got it. That's where Riley reveals the core principles of the 5 a.m. Club. He even has these golden tablets, handcrafted, inscribed with the rules. And it's all about ditching excuses and waking up early.
Okay, I'm intrigued, but I gotta be honest, I'm not a morning person at all. So why is waking up early so important?
Well, it's not really about the time. It's about winning that battle against the snooze button, proving to yourself you have the discipline to design your ideal day. They believe that that first hour sets the tone for the rest of your day. Carve out time for yourself before the world demands your attention.
I see. So it's like a mental victory that sets you up for success throughout the day. What else do they learn on this island getaway?
One concept that stands out is granularity. It's about paying really close attention to detail and striving for perfection in your craft. It's about pushing back against, well, they call it the collective deprofessionalization of business. That's where distraction and apathy have become the norm.
Granularity. Okay, I like that word. Sounds like going deep and focusing on quality. But how do they make that concept relatable?
Riley uses Formula One pit crews as an example. They obsess over every tiny detail because a single loose screw can be disastrous. Shows the importance of precision, focus, and mastering your craft.
Great analogy. It's true, even a small thing can make a huge difference. And I bet the artist really connects with this concept.
Exactly. It ties in with her love of those meticulous techniques used by painters like Vermeer, taking pride in your work, striving for excellence.
I see what you mean about this book being more than just a typical self-help book. It's got practical advice, philosophical insights, and then this engaging story pulling you in. What about the entrepreneur? She seemed to be dealing with some internal struggles, right?
Yeah, she's going through a hostile takeover of her company, and it's really shaken her confidence. Riley helps her to see that she's fallen into learned victimhood, blaming external factors, and settling for less.
It's like she's internalized this feeling of powerlessness. which is stopping her from reaching her potential. How does she break free?
Riley challenges her to shift from that victim mentality to a mindset of personal responsibility. True empowerment comes from taking ownership of your choices and actions, even when things are hard.
Powerful message. It's realizing you have more control over your life than you think, but that's not always easy.
You're right. It takes a conscious effort to change those negative thought patterns and replace them with positive beliefs. And that's where the 5 a.m. club routine comes in, starting your day with intention and purpose, setting yourself up for success.
All right, let's talk about the 5 a.m. club method itself. What's the 20-20-20 formula all about? It sounds a bit mysterious.
It's the heart of the morning routine, and it's pretty straightforward, actually. It's a framework for the first hour of your day. 3 20-minute pockets. First 20 minutes, intense exercise to boost energy and release those feel-good neurotransmitters. Then 20 minutes of reflection and meditation, clear your mind, and set intentions.
Okay, so movement and mindfulness. What's the third pocket?
That's where you spend 20 minutes on learning and personal growth. Read a book, maybe listen to a podcast like this one, or work on a skill.
I love how this routine combines physical, mental, and intellectual stimulation. Seems like a great way to start the day.
Exactly. And this all happens before most people even think about hitting the snooze button. But the book stresses that sleep is key. The Spellbinder gives a whole lecture on the science of sleep, circadian rhythms, all that.
Makes sense. You can't function at your best
Yeah.
if you're always tired. It's about balance, right?
Yeah.
Pushing yourself, but also taking care of your well-being.
Absolutely. There's more to explore, like those 10 tactics to make this a habit, the concept of transient hypofrontality, and the billionaire's own guiding principles. But we'll save those for the next part of our deep dive.
I'm hooked already. Stay tuned for more on the 5 a.m. Club. Okay, welcome back to our deep dive into the 5 a.m. Club. We were just talking about sleep and how it ties into this whole morning routine thing. But I'm also curious about some of the other productivity techniques in the book. Like, remember that 90901 rule and the 60-10 method? What are those all about?
Yeah, those are really interesting. They're all about maximizing your focus and energy, especially after, you've already gotten up at 5 a.m. Let's start with the 90901 rule. It can be a real game changer if you have trouble with procrastination or if you just feel overwhelmed by your to-do list.
Okay, I'm listening. What exactly does 90901 mean?
So for the first 90 minutes of your workday, every day for 90 days, you dedicate yourself to your single most important task, the one that will have the biggest impact on your goals. No distractions, no multitasking, just pure focus on moving forward.
So it's about picking that one crucial activity and giving it your full attention for a solid chunk of time. That makes sense. You need that time to make real progress on the big stuff.
Right, being intentional with your time, prioritizing what truly matters, and then after you've done your 901 block, that's where the 60-10 method comes in. It's about maintaining that peak performance throughout the rest of your day.
Okay, tell me more about this 60-10 method.
It's like working in bursts, 60-minute sprints of focused work followed by 10 minutes of recovery. So you work for an hour, take a break, repeat. Helps prevent burnout.
So you're basically building mini breaks into your day to keep your mind sharp and your energy levels up.
Yeah.
Sounds more sustainable than trying to just power through hours of work without stopping.
Yeah, exactly. And you can do whatever you want during those 10-minute breaks. Get some fresh air, meditate, just disconnect for a bit. The key is to give your mind and body a chance to reset.
I'm noticing this theme of oscillation in the 5 a.m. Club. Balancing hard work with recovery. It's not about pushing yourself to exhaustion, but finding a rhythm that works for you.
Absolutely. Working smarter, not just harder. And speaking of well-being, do you remember those abbreviations? 2WW and 2MP, those are important too.
Oh yeah, those. I was wondering about those. What do they mean?
They're about self-care, even with a busy schedule. 2WW is 2 weekly workouts. Even with the early morning routine, they still stress exercise.
Gotcha. So no skipping the gym just because you're waking up early.
Nope. Physical activity is key for your mental and physical health. Now get ready for this. 2MP stands for 2 90-minute massages per week.
Whoa, wait. 2 90-minute massages. That sounds pretty luxurious, but also a little excessive. Who has time for that?
I know, right? It sounds like a lot. But they say that regular massage is crucial. It reduces stress, helps you sleep better, promotes physical recovery, all things that can help you be more productive and just feel better overall.
So again, it's not just about working harder, but recovering better, investing in self-care.
Exactly. Rest and rejuvenation aren't, they're not just indulgences. They're essential for a successful and happy life. Now, let's shift gears for a minute and talk about the billionaire's philosophy. Remember those billionaires' maxims?
Oh yeah, those sounded interesting, like little nuggets of wisdom.
Yeah, they are. And, they're surprisingly relatable. For example, remember how Riley talks about experiences being more important than material things? Well, one of his maxims is collect miraculous experiences over material things. It's about shifting your focus from buying stuff to enjoying life.
I love that. So easy to get caught up in always wanting more and more. It's a good reminder to appreciate what you have and enjoy the moment.
Totally. And another maxim is to create magic in the world. Own the magic within yourself. It's about self-awareness and recognizing that fulfillment comes from inside you.
Finding that peace and joy within yourself, not looking for it externally.
Right. And for the entrepreneur who's facing those challenges in her business, Maxim #3 is especially relevant. Failure is the fertilizer for greatness.
I like that. It's a good way to think about setbacks. Failure isn't a defeat, it's a chance to learn and grow.
Exactly. Embrace challenges. Resilience and perseverance are key for anyone who wants to achieve great things. Speaking of which, we can't forget about the heroic human circle.
Right, you were saying the book highlights the importance of character. Tell me more about this heroic human circle idea.
It's like a model for, well, for being a good person. The circle represents virtues like honesty, empathy, integrity, you know, courage, perseverance. Leadership isn't just about personal success. It's about having a positive impact on the world.
So it's a reminder that we can all be heroes in our own way by doing the right thing and using our gifts to make the world a better place.
Yeah. And true success goes beyond just personal gain. It's about contributing to something bigger than yourself. And according to the 5 a.m. Club, it all starts with mastering that morning routine. That's the foundation.
We've covered a lot of ground here. Productivity hacks, recovery, the billionaire's philosophy, and it's interesting how it all comes back to that first hour of the day.
It's true. They really emphasize the importance of that 5 a.m. hour. It's about setting the tone, building good habits, taking care of your mind, body, and spirit. But there's still more to unpack. And in the last part of our deep dive, we'll see how the entrepreneur and artist do when they try to put all this into practice.
I can't wait to see how their journey unfolds. Stay tuned as we dive into the final part of the 5 a.m. Club.
Yeah.
Welcome back to our deep dive into the 5 a.m. Club. You know, I'm really curious to see how everything we've talked about actually plays out for the entrepreneur and the artist. I mean, learning all these great lessons is one thing, but actually using them, in real life, that's got to be tough.
Yeah, you're right. It's one thing to understand the ideas, but it's a whole other thing to actually put them into practice day after day, especially when things get hard. And that's what this last part of the book focuses on, how to make all of this work in the real world.
Right. So remind me, where did we leave off in their journey? I know we were talking about the heroic human circle and all that.
Well, that idea of character and virtue, that stays important throughout the rest of the book. Remember how the story started at the Spellbinder seminar? Well, it comes full circle back in Rome. The entrepreneur and artist meet up with him again.
Oh, wow. So they're back where they started. It's like their own personal transformation has come full circle.
Exactly. And in this last part, it's all about taking action. The Spellbinder gives them a really detailed plan for structuring their whole day, from waking up at 5 a.m. to going to sleep at night.
So it's like he's taking that 20-20-20 formula we talked about and expanding it to cover the entire day.
Right. It includes those productivity techniques, like the 90901 rule and 60-10 method, but it also emphasizes the importance of having rituals for both work and recovery. And there's even a whole section on how to wind down before bed.
A pre-sleep routine. That's interesting. Tell me more.
It's all about getting a good night's sleep, disconnecting from technology an hour before bed, doing relaxing activities like reading or taking a bath. It's about preparing your mind and body for rest.
Yeah, I mean, in this day and age, it's so easy to be on our phones and computers right up until we go to sleep. But creating that separation between, being active and going to sleep, that makes sense.
Totally. And remember, getting enough sleep is essential for the 5 a.m. Club to really work. If you're exhausted all the time, it's going to be really hard to stick with it.
Okay, so let's go over those productivity techniques one more time, just to refresh everyone's memory. The 90901 rule, what was that again?
Okay, so the 90901 rule, that's for beating procrastination and feeling overwhelmed. For 90 days, the first 90 minutes of your workday, you focus only on your most important task. No distractions, no email, just get that one thing done.
Right, it's about creating that tight bubble of total focus, like the billionaire said, just shutting out everything else and giving that one task your complete attention.
Exactly. And once you're done with that, then you can use the 60-10 method for the rest of the day. Work for 60 minutes, take a 10-minute break, repeat. It helps you be more productive without getting burned out.
Okay, and then what about those 2WW and 2MP things?
Those are for taking care of yourself. 2WW means 2 weekly workouts. Exercise is still important, even if you're waking up at 5 a.m.
No excuses.
Nope. And 2MP stands for 2 90-minute massages per week.
2 90-minute massages. Wow.
I know, it sounds like a lot. But they believe that massage is really important for reducing stress and helping your body recover.
So taking care of yourself is just as important as working hard.
Exactly. All right, so we've got the daily routine, the productivity techniques, and ways to recover. But how do things turn out for the entrepreneur and the artist? Do they manage to make it all work?
Yeah. Do they get everything they're working towards?
Well, it's not easy for them. The
Ugh.
entrepreneur, especially, she goes through a lot of tough times. Remember those investors who were trying to take over her company? Well, she even starts getting death threats, so it's really scary and stressful.
Oh, wow. That's intense. How does she handle it?
Sticking with the 5 a.m. club principles is what helps her. She wakes up early, does her routine, takes care of herself, and just keeps going, even when it's hard.
It sounds like those tools help her to be strong, not just successful.
Yeah, and it's not just about external achievements. She has this moment where she realizes that happiness and peace of mind are more important than any amount of money or success. She even starts to see the people who are trying to hurt her differently. She realizes they're probably hurting too.
That's really insightful. It's like choosing understanding over anger.
And that's the power of self-awareness, you know? The entrepreneur's story shows us that we have a choice in how we react to difficult situations. We can choose to let them control us, or we can choose to rise above them.
So is there a happy ending for them?
They do find happiness, but they have to go through a lot to get there. It shows how powerful self-improvement can be and how important it is to stick to your values even when things are hard. And actually, they end up falling in love and getting married in Brazil. The billionaire's even there to celebrate with them.
Oh, that's nice. A happy ending for everyone.
And remember what the billionaire said. The greatest of leaders were all servant leaders. It's a reminder that true success is not just about yourself, but about helping others.
Using your gifts to make the world a better place.
Exactly. And that's what the 5 a.m. Club is all about, becoming the best version of yourself so you can make a positive impact on the world. And it all starts with that first hour of the day.
So, as we wrap up our deep dive into the 5 a.m. Club, what's the one thing you hope our listener takes away from all of this?
Remember, it's not just about waking up early. It's about constantly striving to improve yourself, taking care of your well-being, and using your talents to create a life that has meaning.
That's a great message. And for our listeners, as you start your own 5 a.m. journey, remember that you have the power to change your life. It starts with making a decision and being brave enough to take on the challenge.
Yeah, and remember, this deep dive was just a taste of what the 5 a.m. Club has to offer. There's a lot more to explore in the book.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive. Until next time.